Hi there, welcome to the video, and hello again to return viewers. You're watching the Christchurch Review of Books, and I'm Kerry. Today, the monthly book haul yet again, and today it is the 1st of November, a Saturday afternoon. It's sunny but a little chilly here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Without further ado, we'll go on to looking at the physical books which I acquired over the past month. I have probably also purchased and come across several more ebooks, but we'll look at them at a different time. Okay, first up today, Ashes to Ashes. Now this is the companion volume to Rebel Rebel, which I probably showed in an earlier book haul. This is the original version of Ashes to Ashes. The Rebel Rebel copy I got was a revised edition, but this one hasn't been revised yet. Now this continues the stories behind and the recording information and the inspiration and words for David Bowie's songs from 1976 up until his death in 2016. As you can see, it's a pretty chunky one. It's thicker than Rebel Rebel. It is just jam-packed full of information. This originally was on Chris O'Leary's blog, most of the information. Apparently so much information that all the notes and references are still online. You have to look them up because it just was getting too big. So that is Ashes to Ashes. Next up, I took a trip a couple of Saturdays ago to Reverie Books over in Edgware. Nice little bookshop. Used to be the Edgware Paperback Centre when I was younger, but I think a new generation took it over, and they're running a great little used bookshop there now, and there was lots there to choose from. I wouldn't say the prices are excessively cheap there, but they're reasonable. I go in there looking for one thing and I find totally other things, of course. So there's a bit of a theme to the books I purchased from there. First up, we have The Lost City of Z, or Z if you're in the North American continent. Now this is by David Gran, who's famous for other books like The Wager, which came out more recently. And this is pretty much half-crazed explorers looking for lost cities in the jungles, what have you. A little bit of a true but partially unbelievable story. There we go. And British explorers gone wild. So that is The Lost City of Z by David Grant. Also from there, more explorers. This is The Book of Roads and Kingdoms by Richard Fiddler. Now this is an exploration of the explorers who were around in the time of the original Islamic Caliphate, which was centered in Baghdad many centuries ago. And Richard Fiddler has come across accounts by explorers that set out from there to basically explore the known world as it was in that time. And they went to Persia, the Byzantine Empire, Europe, China, all that type of time. And they reported back what they found. And it was like us going to another planet today, basically, for them. So that is The Book of Roads and Kingdoms. It's a handsome hardback. Found a couple of copies in Reverie Books, so this one was cheaper for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I grabbed it when I could. I found I had this one on a Amazon wish list from a couple of years back, so it was nice to find it in person. And on the exploration thing, this book here, A World Beneath the Sand, is a look at the Egyptologists, the archaeologists who were studying what lies beneath the sands, basically, for the last 200 or 300 years. Starts in the 18th century and goes through to the King Tut tomb unveiling in the early 20th century. Lots of interesting stuff in this one, lots of interesting pictures. There's some late Egyptian Greco-Roman painting there. Yeah, so I'm not sure why this interests me, this stuff. It's been a lifelong interest, this type of archaeological Egyptology, that type of thing. Hopefully I can get around to reading some of these books eventually. Okay, so much later I went to have a look at another bookshop, of course, and it was, and I'm struggling to think of the place now, it was King's Books and Stamps. That's right, sorry, minor brain fade there. Now they moved from their place in Warrington Street, the old shop there, which they've been there for several years, to a new location in Stanmore Road a couple of months ago, and then they're now set up there, and I saw it posting online saying they'd got a new stock of science fiction books in, so that attracted me to go in last weekend. None of the ones that they mentioned online were anything that appealed to me, but I did find this. And this is The Return of Nathan Brazil by Jack L. Chalker, part of the Well-World story. Now, these go back a long way for me. I think my oldest sister actually originally got the first book, Midnight at the Well of Souls, out of the library in the 80s, and I read that after her, and that put me on to reading the rest of the series. I can't remember if I read this one the first time around, actually, this particular volume. Anyway, post-earthquake in Christchurch, say like 2012, 2013, I came across a used copy of the entire series in a second-hand shop, snapped that up, but it was missing this one, this particular volume. I'm not sure why this one was harder to come by, and that entire series was in, I think, the UK covers, which are different than these. This is a Valentine Del Rey US cover with a painting by the Mr. Sweet, who's famous for his covers, and yeah, so interesting to see if I've actually read this one, if I actually ever get back into it. I just can't remember ever seeing either copies of the versions of this book. Probably crucial plot points which I missed out. Anyway, my like for the series has diminished over time anyway, because I've read other books by Jack L. Chalker, and it seems he was obsessed by certain things about gender and sexuality and what have you, which veered into a bit of the pervy side, perhaps. So all of his good ideas are kind of tarnished by that for me. Anyway, so that is The Return of Nathan Brazil by Jack L. Chalker. And that's pretty much it. The pretty slim packings this month for the actual physical books. I bought probably half a dozen more ebooks as well. So maybe we'll do a separate book haul for ebooks sometime. I'm not sure. I just don't feel all that comfortable presenting them on screen in a book haul, because it seems a little bit like cheating. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, so that is this month's book haul. Next up, I have a couple of reviews in the pipeline. One for the latest collected edition of the Saga comic series, and the next one for Fourth Wall Phantoms by Joshua Cutchin, which I finally finished a couple of weeks ago after having been reading in the process of reading it for months and months and months. Bit of a noodle scratcher, that one, so I'm struggling to describe it in a review, so we'll get there anyway. So that's all for this month, so we'll see you next time. Cheers.